Now what I have here are Profoto gels. These are specifically fit for the B10 type models. They also make magnetic ones that go for the A1, but gels, you can buy a pack of gels from any camera store for all of $12. So you don't have to get these, which definitely are more expensive because they're customized to their lights. Go spend 15 bucks and get a ton of gels at a place like Adorama. Like a pack like these, this one is like 30 bucks, but it has a ton of different gels in it. You can always look and they're gonna list what it's got. These are also bigger, got some reflective stuff in here, which is also fun. Anyway, take a look at these videos and get some inspiration for using gels. We are here at the Woodbine Mansion in Round Rock, Texas. I saw this room and I knew I had to shoot in it. We are shooting both natural light and then adding a little bit of strobe. So let's go nice and warm. Love that. Pretty. Beautiful headache. Yeah. I didn't want to finish up this shoot without adding a little bit of color, so I have an extra A1X and some Clic gels. They're magnets, they plop right on. You don't lose them. They're not like gels that kind of go flying if there's any little fart of wind in there. Fart, I said fart. This is my YouTube channel. We can say fart here. Instant unsubscribe from like 26 men who can't listen to women fart. I also brought my C1 Plus with me so I could use that as an extra little bit of light. I'm trying to think what light I want to put on her head. I want it to look like kind of natural. So she's got this awesome red hair, so I could put like a blue light behind her, or I could make it look like it's a nice warm glow and do like a yellow or an orange. I really need like half the amount of light, so I'm just gonna hide half of it behind something because it's at its lowest setting. That's it. I loved your eyes down. Do that again. Gorgeous. Your eyes like pop. All the blue, all the fun. Luckily, it's a cloudy day today, so I didn't have to fight the natural light so much, and I was able to do things with these smaller Speedlight flashes that generally have less power than a strobe. So hold that while I get the rest of my life in order here. So bring this hip kind of this way. Nice. And then bring it as much as you can forward so I can get like, yeah, perfect. Like I just want to see eye, like an eye through, yeah. Yeah, that's good.
It's the red hair and the blue eyes.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, that's stunning.
That one's gonna be a favorite. Here are the final images. Let me know what you think. Honestly, those are some of the things I love about Profoto. People always ask, why Profoto? Why don't I just buy this less expensive thing? Well, a lot of it has to do with convenience. It has to do with workability, how fast we can set it up, how everything meshes together. I mean, how much faster can you get than a magnet? The first way we're gonna flash myself is I'm going to put a pink gel on my B10. Now, you don't need to have another strobe to do it. In fact, I recommend using like an A1 or a Canon 600, something that's more of a speed light, so it's a little bit lighter since you'll be hand holding this baby. I'm just gonna set it to a little bit higher than what I have my other light set to. I think the other light is set at 4, so let's just try 5. I'm just gonna experiment with it and see what we end up with. Now the key to this is pointing this light directly into your lens without being able to see the light itself. So let's give it a try. And what we're going for is an overall haze. Now it is filling the shadows in, but it's hazing over the entire thing. Let's see what happens when we change a color. Now I'm gonna try this with a CTO gel. So let's see what that looks like. So this is what I'm looking for. This one is really subtle. So it's just giving almost like an overall bronzy type look. The closer that you move to your subject, the more of a fill light it's going to act like. Now the brighter you go, the more of a haze it's going to have. And you might need to adjust your exposure for that, which I'm gonna do right now. So it's a really fun way just to get a little bit of color, a little bit of haze into your image. Really easy way to do it, actually. Now for number 2, way to flash yourself, the glitter bomb. So I have Jennifer with V-flats behind her. The key to doing this is having more of a dark background because the glitter bomb effect is going to show up a lot more that way. I did also black out my exposure very differently from before. I do have a grid on here. This is a 5-degree grid so that I'm just pointing the light right at Jennifer, I don't want to light the background at all because then my glitter bomb effect of flashing myself isn't going to show up so great. First thing I want to do is get the exposure on Jennifer's. So let's get a shot. All right, so this is what I'm looking for. Totally black, blacked out background, and then I just have the light on my model. So gonna go ahead and turn on this. This is set to 7.6, while this light is set to 6. I'm actually gonna go a little bit higher. I'm gonna go half step higher. So you usually wanna have this light brighter, but it's really like a kind of play to figure out where it works. Now the fun part is, you flash yourself. You just have this light pointed directly at your lens and you move it around and get a bunch of different shots, getting that kind of look. Nice, and what do you have? You have a glitter bomb. And it's also acting like a little bit of a fill light. As you go around and move the light around your lens, you're gonna get different effects as it goes around. And you can see it almost like going around in a little bit of a circle. Be careful just not to get too much of it in your lens, because then it's just gonna look like a big white spot and you don't want that. So the combination of having a wide angle lens and a really small aperture is what gives that glitter bomb effect. Ideally, you have a lens that has an aspheric coating on it, which tones down the haze a little bit, so you really can see more of the glitter bomb, the little bokeh that you're creating, versus the hazing effect. So that's what you want to consider. High aperture, wide angle lens, and then give this shot a try.
I'm gonna show you how to fake like it's golden hour, even in the harsh sun. Isaac has my B10, and we have 2 CTO gels here. So what color is the sun? It's orange. So we're gonna mimic that. So the key to making this work, Isaac, you're gonna hold it up and then walk that way a bunch, and then probably down a little bit. Keep going. I want it to kind of be like right behind the trees. Yes, right there. So let's go ahead and see what this looks like. I need to go into high speed sync. There we go. Now we're cooking. So we went through a few different areas of the gym, and my goal was to get a little bit of color in these shots, and we worked out really nicely. We actually matched the first shot with the color of Jesse's shoes. So my goals were to do a little bit of color, but of course to show off his physique. So for the most part, I was gridding my lights and having them come from a side angle to give as much texture and dimension to all of his cut muscles as possible. Then depending on where we were, I threw in an extra light or two to give a little bit of color, a little bit of pop, and make it more grand than normal. I did have a little bit of light coming in from the area, and it wasn't so bad. I don't want it to look like it's a cave. I just want to make sure that I can get a little bit of ambiance without letting the overhead lights or even the natural light that's coming through the window take over what I'm trying to do with my strobes. I really like what we got, everything from working out shots, in-action shots, to ones that were a little bit more posed, and of course the stuff that he demonstrates during the stage competitions that he does. He actually just won his first title.
There's a few things that you're going to need in order to photograph a nighttime scene with a subject properly. For how we're going to shoot this, you're going to use a tripod. Obviously you need your camera, and then I do suggest that you have 2 different off-camera flashes. I have 2 Profoto B10s. One of them is going to be used to backlight your subject, and the other one is going to be used to light your subject's face. The one lighting your subject's face, ideally you have some kind of modifier on it, just softening it or maybe even directing it. I had an off-camera flash beauty dish, a portable beauty dish from Profoto, on the light that was lighting her face, and then on the backlight, I either shoot it raw or I shoot it with a grid. The grid really helps to direct the light without overexposing the ground. You don't want the ground to be super overexposed and blowing out, because then the viewer's attention just goes straight to the ground instead of to your subject's face. Don't worry about your lights. Just set your exposure for the background. Make sure that it's good, as if you were just photographing a night scene. Now it's time to set up your subject and set up your lights. Place your subject where you would want them in the frame. Place one light behind them, probably about 6 feet or so, and pointed more up at their heads rather than just down. Again, we don't really want it hitting the ground, and sometimes even with a grid it still will, just depending on how far away your light is from the subject and how condensed your grid is. The other light, the light that's going to illuminate their faces, I tend to like to put at a 90 to 45 degree angle from my subject. It's nighttime. I want it to look dramatic. I want to have a shadow side. So I'm going to make sure that the light is a little heavier of an angle in relation to my subject so I can get that look. I start off by using TTL. I turn on my lights, set my transmitter to TTL, and take a picture. TTL is just auto for your light. It's going to determine how much power, how much brightness should be coming out of the flashes based on the circumstances and the settings and a whole bunch of math that it figures out for you. Take an orange gel, a CTO, color temperature orange gel, and put it on the light that is lighting their face. It's your choice whether you want the light behind them to have the gel on it as well, or maybe you like the bluish kind of light that will end up coming from it. You may have to mess around with how many gels or how dark saturated of those CTO gels that you're going to put on the flash. Maybe it's a half, maybe it's a full, maybe it's 2 fulls, but it's all in relation to how much you've blued down your white balance. From there, take a few shots, play, and have fun. I certainly did on this shoot. We actually brought canned fog and sprayed it all around just to give the ground a little bit more of a mist, add a little something extra to the shoot. Before we get any further in this video, let me tell you about this video sponsor, Squarespace. I have been using Squarespace for probably over a decade. Squarespace is a platform where you can create beautiful custom websites in just a few minutes. Choose from a plethora of templates where you can easily plug and play your own work. It's an all-in-one platform for building your brand and growing your business online. We all know that an online presence is crucial for your brand, so build one that stands out. Head over to this link for my exclusive 10% discount on your first domain at Squarespace. Now back to the video. All right, we'll make your main light red. Now make your main light blue. Pop that gel on, and ideally what I do with this is this just becomes kind of more of a fill light on this side. Well, that is her main light, and then somewhere in there it'll mix and create a little bit of purple. I think. I've never done this. This is now the party house, guys. Make crazy faces. Yeah. Cute. Do you have headphones? Can you borrow his headphones?
Oh, I was like, what's happening?
Yeah, just put them over, like pretend like you're DJing. Yeah, yes, yes, perfect. Oh, I love it. Let's do that. Nice. I think we got it. I'm good. We got so much fun stuff. I love it when we get fun stuff. Wait, we have canned fog, atmosphere, aerosol. What were we thinking? Exactly. All right, go ahead, spray it up. We put the light behind so we can actually see the smoke. Just go, keep spraying. So we're turning off the lights so we can see more of the smoke, and this is working perfectly. So lowering my main light, but still keeping it on, so we get just a kiss of light. cute. More up. Nice. I think we got it and we're all choking. Just some fun stuff. We just turned my light and airy studio into like a rave.
Not the first time.
We are going to use my Canon EOS R. I've got a 24 to 105 f4 lens on here. And you also see I have the Connect and the C1, and I've got a mirror on the ground. Don't want you to step on that, but we're gonna use this. Hey, Lissy, can I come take a picture of you? Look at you. All right, can you go down to that corner right there? Crisscross applesauce. Yeah, there you go. We are also using a pro grade card. Definitely nice and secure in there. All right, let's get shooting. The first thing I had Felicity do was sit down and look into the mirror. To be honest, the shots weren't exactly what I was looking for, but I decided to put on the Profoto C1 to get a little bit more light in her eyes. After that, we changed position, and then my very favorite last thing that we did was have Felicity face down on the mirror, and I placed 2 full Profoto CTO gels on the C1. Now these are magnetic, so they plop on really quickly, and I messed around with having a nice golden glow over her hair. So we tried, as she laid down, to change the position of the C1. We first tried laying it on her back to get that position. I didn't love it, so we switched to the opposite and had it just off of camera left, but didn't particularly like that as much either. I ended up needing to ask my husband, who was filming this, to stop for a second and hold the light behind her. You can see his leg there, and have the light come streaming in from behind. This not only helped light her hair evenly here, but also gave a little bit of a reflection in the mirror as well, which I liked, because if you look at the difference between this photo where you have that light coming in and this photo where you don't, that's definitely a drastic difference, and I really like the one with the light a little bit better. And then have a very warm yellow to contrast that and have sort of complementary colors in more of a muted type sense. I like what I came up with. It's not my usual style, but hey, gotta play every once in a while.
Hey, can you stop right there and I can tell you just a little secret? I have something called Photo Insiders that you might want to be a part of. Photo Insiders is a master educational community for photographers where you will learn the ins and outs of things like posing, lighting, flash, continuous lighting, and a mix of all of them. With new educational videos every single month, behind the scenes and on location shoots with real clients, not models.
This is just fun stuff.
Watch how I troubleshoot my way out of situations.
Did that flash?
See my camera settings and see my images raw as they come out of the camera. Exclusive content that you will not see anywhere else.
High-speed sync allows you to raise...
You could watch a million YouTube videos and still not get your questions answered. But within the community of Photo Insiders, you'll be able to ask your questions that I will answer in live group coaching calls. Never feel lost or frustrated behind the camera again, but instead confidently create the photos that you envision every single time. Inside the community, you can also talk shop and collaborate with other photographers, so you can not only elevate your craft together, but boost your marketing and overall business too. You'll have access to all of my bonus materials, things like contracts and my email templates that are sure to put money in the bank. I wish I had something like this 20 years ago when I first started learning photography. Join my exclusive community at Photo Insiders and learn alongside a group of creatives that are going to help you elevate your craft. See you there.